This video will be covering everything you missed in Top 8 of the International 13. On that note, let's get right into it. Our first major series was between Tundra and Extreme Gaming. XG would find themselves here after having a convincing win against Team Aurora, eliminating the last remaining Southeast Asian team from the International, with Aurora's star player Lorinov saying that there was a big lack of synergy among the players.
They just don't have enough synergy with these players, I think.
Tundra, on the other hand, are looking like one of the best teams in the world. Despite getting knocked down in the losers bracket by the Gaimin Gladiators, we would see that Tundra were actually saving their best strats for the lower bracket. Going into game 1, Tundra would first pick Sniper, not only because it's one of the most picked heroes at TI, but because they didn't want it in the hands of XM, who is widely regarded as one of the best snipers in the world. This would lead to Extreme putting their mid laner on Shadow Fiend, which is without a doubt a questionable pick, as traditionally, the hero struggles in the lane versus Sniper, and what made matters even worse for XM would be Tundra's support Zaxa playing Sniper Elite in the middle of the laning stage, securing a very unexpected solo kill and helping Topson win the lane. But the real strategy of Tundra would lie behind Pure's Lone Druid, utilizing the facet Bare Necessities, which removes 3 of his item slots while also buffing the items that he has equipped. Despite Tundra having an early gold advantage, XG would manage to pick up the first Roshan of the game, but this wouldn't be long lasting, as Ame would get caught too far away from his teammates to help him out, killing him twice and cementing a strong mid-game advantage for Tundra. A funny moment this game was when Pure fed his life to the Tormentor, which ironically ended up being a good thing for Tundra, as this made XM try to make a play when he knew Lone Druid wouldn't be on the map, but this led to him dying without even getting a kill in return, digging XG's hole only deeper. It wouldn't take long after this for Tundra to start pressuring high ground, taking the first set of barracks at 27 minutes. And this game showed us the true counter to Faceless Void's time zone, Disperser. Just look at how Pure runs after he gets time zone. Bro runs like a damn track Olympian. Bro runs like he's trying to escape Bill Cosby. Bro runs like he's trying to get away from P. Diddy. The game would end soon after this, with Ame having one of his worst games in terms of total damage. Going into game 2, XG would put up a better fight than they had in game 1, with Jinkyu's Nyx Assassin finding many openings that alleviated Tundra's pressure on the map. However, as Jinkyu said in this post-game interview, there would be a few fights where they horribly overextended, giving up any chance they had to snowball and take the lead. An important note as to why teams are picking up Lone Druid is his ability to soak up loads of damage in mid-game fights. An example of this is when we can see Ame and Jinkyu set up at the Twin Gate to kill Pure right when he comes through it, and yet somehow this happens.
But the Wukong man stays alive. Can the damage stay up though? The clockwork goes down. How did Pure manage to get out of here? What? He's making a run for it. Throws out the Gladiators. The stuns are after him. Ame hops on top. Stun. Where's the stuns?
To get back to the game, XG took a desperation play, contesting Roshan with no buybacks besides the Underlord. With great positioning and catching Pure off guard, the fight looked promising. But as we learned from last game, Lone Druid with a Disperser is basically able to say, I'ma head out, to any situation he finds himself in. And when it looks like Ame is about to grab the Aegis, Ramsey blinks in with Epicenter and steals it, destroying any hopes XG had left in taking the game. Ramses would show the power of Sand King when given uncontested free farm, ending the game with the most damage on his team, securing Tundra a top 4 finish at the International. Tundra would then go on to face against the Falcons, a team that's undoubtedly one of the best in the world. They had just 2-0'd BetBoom and Cloud9 out of the tournament, giving fans the expectations that they were on the path to win the whole thing. Jumping into game 1, Tundra would be faced against Malvern's Monkey King, a hero that he's been undefeated with at TI. To combat this, Topson went Viper, surprising everybody, having only one professional game with the hero in the last 6 years. The game would start with Topson feeding first blood due to an early gank by Snake King's Bristleback, and sadly for the Falcon fans, this would be the first and last highlight we see from the support Bristle. As Viper does Viper things, we expect Topson to apply a lot of pressure to Malvern's Monkey King, but what fans didn't expect was that the bullying got so bad that Malvern would spend more time in the side lanes than the mid lane during the first 5 minutes of the game. But let's sympathize with Malrine for a moment, because if you've ever laned into a Viper as a melee hero, you know it ranks among one of the least enjoyable experiences that a human being can go through. But this support-like playstyle created a pretty noticeable gap in net worths between the two mid laners, which not only put Topson in a good position to enable Pure on his Lone Druid, but it kept him ahead of the Falcons carry DK, resulting in Skeeter having a hard time scaling into the cores of Tundra. Tundra would go on to close the game sub 45 minutes, with Pure having over 22,000 building damage, and more than double of Skeeter's net worth. Falcons had a much better laning stage in game 2, having 2 ranged heroes against 2 melee heroes in the bottom lane. But the excessive attention that Falcons would put in the bottom lane would free up a lot of space for Pure's Alchemist, having a record of 0-0-0 while farming for his Radiance. The tempo of the game would change the second Pure finished his Radiance and Blink Dagger, hunting down and killing the enemy Clinks immediately. And only a minute later, the same thing would happen again to our good old pal, buddy and chum, Skeeter, who has now died twice just after picking up his Deso. This lead would never be broken by the Falcons, as Tundra would snowball their way to victory, with Pure dropping a donut in the deaths category, securing Tundra a top 3 placement at the International 13. And folks, it's one thing to say easy game after a tough match, but to say, guys, it's over, to a team that you're sending home is just straight up evil. Ramses, you are truly a barbarian of the highest order. Going into the lower bracket finals, Tundra would face the Gaimin Gladiators after Quinn and co underwent a shocking 2-0 defeat to Team Liquid. Unlike the upper bracket where they got 0-2'd, Tundra would fight back, taking the first game of the series. Game 2, on the other hand, was a little questionable. Topson would go your average item build that would send someone to the gulag. This drew in a lot of criticism from the fans, as by skipping Blink Dagger, Tundra had a hard time making plays in the early game. This gave notable form to Ace's Underlord, who with multiple auras was able to have his team be unkillable, calling out Tundra's lack of damage and destroying them, bringing us to Game 3. Our last match of the series would be one of the hypest games of the tournament. The game started out extremely rough for Tundra, being down 16,000 gold at 25 minutes, with Tundra's offlaner hovering around the same gold as the Gladiator supports. But when the darkness of defeat seemed inevitable, Tundra somehow found a spark that reignited their path to victory.
Going to the disruption! It's Dom the lasso initiation, now Ramses comes in with his BKB, still hit with a Sonic Wave onto 2. The Death Shroud once again will help them out, they manage to get the Doom onto the Queen of Pain. A great target, and there's a full HP Pure, and Thompson is going to work. Epicenter slamming the ground, slamming Gaimin Gladiators.
Despite Victory Road being visible, Tundra's uphill battle would continue, losing a crucial fight at the 45-minute mark with no buybacks, which would lead to Gaimin taking 2 sets of barracks. Shockingly, the game wasn't over yet, as the battle would continue for over 60 minutes, where Tundra can be seen finally leaving their base to contest Roshan.
Disruption, managed to buy in some time. Pure is getting a lot of stacks though. Pure is getting bigger and bigger. Last slam from Thompson. There goes down the lasso. Managed to get 1. Thompson's still fine. Gaimin Gladiators are running out of damage, it seems. These buybacks are not doing enough. Wait, no! Another Sonic Wave. They got Thompson. A pull forward from Soxa. Couldn't actually do that much. Now he's in danger as Tarachi looks to be able to run him down. Nah, you're not getting out of here.
Obtaining the Aegis on Quinn would secure the Gladiators' Mega Creeps. And from here, it was a grim road for Tundra fans. After Tundra's Fortify was blown from the previous siege, the Gladiators would go for an all-in play with no buybacks. They took Underlord's portal directly to the heart of Tundra, evaporating their base in less than 3 seconds, ending Tundra's Cinderella run in 3rd place. Tundra's run at TI got me feeling like one of those "Am I the asshole?" posts on Reddit. Cause like, am I the asshole for wanting Soxa to stay on Tundra? TI 13's grand final set the stage for a new El Clasico. For the Gladiators, they placed 2nd at TI last year, and are desperately seeking redemption. For Liquid, they have a history of losing to the Gladiators every time they face in the grand finals, so winning here on the biggest stage in the world would serve as a statement to a new era of Liquid. Going into Game 1, the Gladiators pick Ricky mid, and judging by Quinn's low amount of games on the hero throughout his career, it's safe to say they picked this solely to hard counter Nisha's puck, rather than playing a comfort hero. But don't just take my word for it. Here's what Liquid's coach Blitz had to say about the pick.
Quinn, last pick Ricky mid. What do you think about it?
I mean, he's a rat.
With more base attack, armor, and a silence, Nisha had a very hard time trading into Quinn. Dota players deserve more money. Like, look at what bro has to go through. This visibly makes me hurt, and I'm not even the one playing. Liquid would stop Quinn's momentum at the 16-minute mark, as he tried to get a quick kill onto Nisha, but was given a rude surprise by the squad of Liquid after catching a coil. A big moment for Liquid would happen just 1 minute later, where the Gladiators would be caught overextending going for a kill on Puck, and ended up giving a large chunk of gold and XP to 33's Visage and Mickey's Nature's Prophet. At this point, Liquid controlled the tides of the game, with Nisha building Force Staff instead of Blink Dagger as a consistent save for Ricky's Smokescreen. Despite the Gladiators' draft to win the early game, Liquid would be the first ones to claim a set of barracks, destroying them at an astounding 26 minutes. The game would end soon after Quinn abandons his team and the high ground, trying to solo kill the Puck, where he would be deleted almost instantly with no buyback, resulting in Liquid taking Game 1 in the best of 5 grand finals. Boxy looks like the dude that you don't want to run into in a dark alley. Dude looks nefarious. Dude looks like he's planning something diabolical. Jumping into Game 2, one of his most diabolical plays was this frame-perfect teleport right as Mickey was getting ganked. instinct, resulting in a death on Quinn and keeping his carry alive. While this was happening, 33 was working towards being the bane of Gaimin's existence. He would have a massive gold advantage coming out of the laning stage, allowing him to help his team force objectives very early into the game. What made matters worse for Gaimin was a series of unsuccessful ganks on Quinn's puck, further creating a gap in net worth among the Radiant and the Dire. And I didn't think it was possible to take barracks faster than Liquid did last game, but somehow they managed to pull it off, speedrunning the Gladiators as if they were a level in a video game that they knew all the cheat codes to. Gaimin would get all the boys together for one last Roche fight in an attempt to save the game. Unfortunately for Gladiator fans, this play wouldn't work out, as they would get wiped across the board, with Quinn's puck tragically undergoing a bug where his phase shift canceled mid-channel, and this death led to Quinn not being back up in time during Liquid's high ground push, resulting in a second win for Liquid in the grand finals. Getting right into our third game, Team Liquid would have a heavy magic damage lineup, making this on paper a really hard game for Duracio's carry Wind Ranger. Duracio would try to combat this by being really aggressive in the early game, ganking Mickey's lane before 7 minutes and killing him, and just a minute later, they would catch Mickey again, which gave an early XP lead to the Gladiators. They almost caught Mickey again, which could have been game ruining, but luckily for Liquid fans, Quinn psyched himself out, teleporting away thinking Mickey was nowhere to be found. Despite the immense pressure Gaimin were putting onto Mickey, all three cores would still be in good standings in terms of net worth, and a moment that really solidified this was during the team fight at 12 minutes, as Liquid would kill the Wind Ranger and secure more control of the map. It only took 17 minutes for the Liquid cores to have the most money in the game, showing no signs of slowing down. The Gladiators, however, would show some signs of life, like this fight here where they managed to steal their own Tormentor from Liquid, hitting a multi-man Gale Force and killing off 33, Boxy, and Insania. But ultimately, this fight would just delay the inevitable. I mean, just look at Duracio trying to kill Team Liquid, tickling a level 19 Mickey with his level 15 Wind Ranger. Oh, and if you blinked, well, now he's dead. With Gaimin's back against the wall, they had one fight in them left before Liquid would take the Ancient, and this is what happened.
Gaimin Gladiators, it's just 3 against the world now. The tier 4's going down. Liquid, have they done it here? The coil onto the 2 of them as Liquid are getting the space to focus down the Ancient. Jump forward towards the Ancient, but the auras are out.
Down goes Duracio.
He's out.
Liquid are doing it.
To the Ancient. Liquid are absolutely doing it. GG is cold. Team Liquid.
Unbelievable.
Seeing Liquid win is like when the good guy wins at the end of a movie. These guys have been through so much together, with Blitz giving such an emotional speech that'll start to make your eyeballs sweat.
I feel like they took a chance on a guy who's never coached a winning team before. We had so many losses. We had 5 years without winning anything. We could have disbanded like 20 different times like people told us to. We didn't make a TI and Liquid still kept us on. I didn't do anything here. I'm just so glad that people like Zai, Nisha, Matsu, they took a chance on us and they were willing to play with us. And I'm so glad that I didn't ruin Nisha's career.
TI crowd was debating if Tidehunter Ravage is a skill shot, so let's settle this. Comment yes if you agree, and no if you disagree. I'll be tallying your votes in 2 weeks from today, settling the debate once and for all. It's important to remember that you are doing enough just by being here. It's common for people to have the idea of, oh, happiness is down the road. If I had money, if I had the house, if I had the relationship, then I would be happy. But that's all fake news. Your moment, your day, your breath is where joy, bliss, and well-being is to be found. To have this breath means you can fight. Fight whatever it is you're going through. Thank you for having the courage to keep moving, even if you don't see a direction in this given moment. I'm proud of the person that you see in the mirror, and I'm proud of all the growth you've demonstrated in these past few months, weeks, and even days. I love y'all so much. Thank you for showing your peace, love, and positivity, especially with yourself. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.